Last year, our family grew by 4 paws. We got Cadbury, our son Knightley's incredible service dog. We had always thought that service dogs were meant for people with visual impairments or who were on wheelchairs. We never knew all the different ways that service dogs are now able to help. And we had no idea the impact that Cadbury would have on our family. He has changed us without a doubt. So we'd like to share with you a message we're sharing for Canine Companions for Independence, the organization that gave us Cadbury. This is dedicated to the people and paws that have made having Cadbury possible.
My name is Knightley. And this is Cadbury.
When someone you love is diagnosed with a disability, you're given a list of their limitations. And every year, with every new professional that works with your child, that list grows. And as a parent, you carry that list in your heart, that list of how they're different from everyone else. And you're often reminded of that when you step outside your home. Our son Knightley has been excluded because he is different. He's been excluded from kids' programs, even those for kids with Down syndrome, from church, and even from school. When we applied for a service dog from Canine Companions, we just prayed that Knightley would meet a dog that accepted him as he is, no questions asked. But Canine Companions, you do so much more than just provide a dog. You change families. Here are 5 ways you changed ours. 1. You made us better parents. See, Knightley's former school documented that he can only sit still in a classroom setting for about 6 minutes. So, when CCI said, you're going to be in 2 weeks of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. training, and that we'd have to sit with Knightley through all that, we freaked out. And in those first few days, we saw what the school meant. But then you started teaching us techniques on how to successfully care for your dog, how to be a good leader, how to motivate and correct, how to set him up for success. And as we listened, we realized you weren't giving us dog handling 101. This is actually parenting 101. And as we applied those same techniques, we saw Knightley walk willingly into the class and sit the rest of the 2 weeks from 9 to 5 without behaviors. You taught us how to be better parents like no other therapist or educator could. Number 2, you helped our son choose courage instead of fear. Before CCI, you could not get Knightley into any large enclosed crowd. Assemblies, auditoriums, movie theaters. So when you told us he'd have to walk on stage for graduation, we knew that would be a battle. But when you gave us Cadbury, we saw Knightley walk right across stage happily, not covering his ears, not freaking out, just so happy to meet his dog. In fact, because of Cadbury, we see Knightley walk into situations he never would have dared to before. We've seen Knightley walk into large crowds, increase his speech, be more involved with his therapies, do chores independently, and travel to adventures unknown with Cadbury. Rather than live in fear, Knightley is now choosing courage. Number 3. You made us ambassadors. See, people were too afraid to approach Knightley. But now with Cadbury, we can't go out without being stopped. People now approach Knightley. They talk to him, they play with him, and they leave smiling. Cadbury has removed the walls that once surrounded our son and has welcomed people and kids to come and just get to know him. We regularly get to share with others that life with a disability isn't a life of limitations, but of hope, of joy, and community. Number 4, you welcomed us into a community of superheroes. While we cannot describe how much joy we felt when Cadbury came into our lives, we also cannot express enough how incredible of a community that came with him. We've met people battling challenges we never imagined, and doing so with such beauty and grace. Meeting kids who dream and laugh and love, who can barely move, who can't speak, or whose condition sets a tragic time limit on their life. We get to meet other families and parents who love and fight for them with such passion and joy. And after we came home, our inboxes exploded with people welcoming us into the Canine Companions family. Lastly, number 5, you changed our family forever. Do you realize how much of an impact you make? When you gave your dollars or your time, do you realize how far that goes? When those of you who carefully selected the dogs that would be bred, did you know those parents would birth just the right litter, with just the right dog, with just the right temperament for people like our son? When you raised your puppies and you take them to all the appointments, did you know that you're raising a dog to love someone and not expect that person to have to say or do and be like everyone else? When you groomed and you fed and you exercised and you trained them, did you know you were making more than just a skilled companion? And when you finally let that dog go and walk across the stage at graduation, did you know you were giving someone who would be the one that my son wakes up and looks for first thing in the morning? The one he runs to when he first comes home. The one he plays with and finds comfort from when things are scary. And even when the world quarantined and he had to stay home and he couldn't see his friends or his teacher or his family and he didn't know why, you gave him the one who'd be his classmate, his play date, his therapy buddy. Did you know you gave our son his best friend? Do you know how far your impact goes? Our family would not be where it is now without the generosity of people like you. You are people who make better parents, who inspire others to choose courage, who appoint global ambassadors, and you build a community of superheroes. And your impact is lifelong. Canine Companions, you changed our family. Would you consider giving to help change other families? To change more lives? To spread a message across the world that just because you've been labeled limited doesn't mean the label has to limit you. We hope you will. With all our hearts, thank you so much from our family. Thank you for joining us. Click like and subscribe to see next week's adventure. Bye.